All right, so today in our gospel, some of you may be curious. Why did we read the gospel of Zacchaeus, who climbed up the sycamore tree? Isn't that the gospel you read on the Sunday before the Triodion begins? And the answer is yes, in the Slavic tradition. But in the Antiochian tradition, for some reason, it stays in the order that we follow after Christmas. So there you go. That's why the Triodion doesn't begin for 3 more weeks, but we read this gospel. And I'm sure all of you liturgical fanatics were just so worried about that. But I thought, in case there's one, I better explain it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the story of Zacchaeus, the tax collector, the man of short stature, who, when he heard that Jesus was coming, couldn't see him because of the crowd. So he ran ahead to where he was going, climbed up a tree to see him, and as Jesus passed by, looked up in the tree and said, "Zacchaeus, come down. I'm going to stay at your house today." In fact, it even says, "I must stay at your house today." So Zacchaeus comes down, takes him to his house. Well, everybody is murmuring because he is the town gangster. I mean, he's the tax collector, right? He's the one who uses Roman soldiers to bang on your door and take your possessions so that he can pay the Romans the taxes they demand. This guy is not a popular figure, generally considered a sinner. And that's what it says. He's gone to eat with sinners. But then it says, but Zacchaeus stood up and said to Jesus, "Lord, behold, half of what I get, I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone, I pay back 4 times. Right? So if I collected too much tax from somebody, I'll pay them back 4 times. And then Jesus said, "Today salvation has come to your house." So what's the lesson? Well, there's lots, of course. But one of the lessons we can learn from this story is that Jesus isn't that concerned about your reputation. In fact, he's not concerned at all about your reputation. He's not concerned about the mistakes you've made. That's not something Jesus worries about. What is Jesus looking for? He's looking for people who are looking for him. That's who Jesus is looking for. Not the people who seem to be good on the outside, not to people who seem to cross all the T's and dot all the I's, but to the people who are looking for him. I heard someone say the other day about their close relative who's an agnostic, who's continually upset that Jesus won't reveal himself to him. And so he insists that he has to stay an agnostic. I'm an agnostic because if God were real, he'd reveal himself to me. As though he were the center of the universe, I guess. I don't know. But let me give you a clue. At least for Zacchaeus, Jesus reveals himself to the one who earnestly seeks him. Seeks him enough not to be distracted by all the tall things around you. Have you ever heard that expression, the tyranny of the urgent, right? It's the tyranny of the urgent that keeps you from seeing the important. Right? All of these urgent things, and I can't see the one important thing. Maybe if I were taller, spiritually speaking, if I were a stronger person, if I were a more spiritually attuned person, if I had more gifts of grace, if I tried harder, I don't know. Maybe if I prayed more, maybe I would see more clearly, but the bottom line is I don't, and so I don't. Right? I don't see. But like Zacchaeus, I want to see. I want to see Jesus. And so, like Zacchaeus, I've got to look and say, all right, where is Jesus going to be? Where can I run ahead and do something myself to see Jesus? Right? What tree can I climb? And for some people, especially parents of small children, coming to church on Sunday is climbing a huge tree. Right? It takes a lot of, I really want to see Jesus today. And so you get up early, get the kids ready, get out the door, and it always takes twice as long as you expect. But why are you doing it? I hope you're not doing it so that you have a good reputation as a churchgoer, because that doesn't matter to Jesus. But if you're climbing the tree to see Jesus, if you're reading another theological book, not to show how smart you are, but because you think you might find Jesus there, then I bet you might find Jesus there. If you're coming to church not because you're a good person, but because you want to see Jesus, then you might see Jesus there. If you're saying your prayers in the morning not because it's what you're supposed to do, but because you want to see Jesus, there's a chance you might see Jesus there. If you're reading the Bible because you want to be right, then you probably won't get much out of it. Probably make you sick. But if you're reading the Bible because you want to find Jesus, there's a good chance, like Zacchaeus, you'll see Jesus. And somehow he'll speak to your heart and say, I want to come to your house. I want to enter the house of your heart. I want to eat with you. And it's not just faith. Some of our Christian friends like to talk about faith alone and argue that the Bible says that, except the only single version of the New Testament that says Bible alone was translated by Martin Luther. I wonder how that word alone got in there. I don't know. No other version of the New Testament anywhere in the world says faith alone anywhere. We're saved by faith, and we're saved by our works. And so Zacchaeus, I give half of I own to the poor. Right? If I've defrauded anyone, I pay back 4 times. Okay, so maybe half of what you own is a big jump. But start with something, right? Offer something you have. Give some of your life away, and God will honor that. And he'll see your faith, and he'll say to you, like he said to Zacchaeus, today salvation has come to this house. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.